श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वातरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारो अन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यतायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Is it recording? I didn't get the signal of recording. Everything is okay? Namaste all of you. We are studying Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad and we are in the second section of the kārikā, Vaithathya Prakarana, where the mistakes are being analyzed. Vithata, wrong understanding, an error about a real thing, that is being analyzed. Why Adi Shankara or Gaudapada Acharya gave a name called Vithatha? When you see a thing as it is, that is called Tatha or Yatha. When you see a thing, something other than what it is called Vithatha. And the entire world is cognizing the reality in different names and forms. And those names and forms are called Vithatha. The real entity is formless, but the entire world, I mean the people, are cognizing a thing which is free from all names and forms, are misunderstood by them as names and forms. That is why Vithatha, the word is important. The entire section with the different verses, we came to some important names and forms which are the object of meditation or which are the object of salvation for school of philosophies. Their liberation is attaining this name and form. It started with the name Prana. So that the word Vitata is completely fit for this section. And we are in the 33rd verse in the Vitata Vaithatya Prakaranam. We already saw the meaning of this verse. Now we will look into some important sentences of Shankara's commentary regarding this verse. I will read the verse and I will give you the meaning once more for the continuity, and we will go through the sentences. Bhavaihi asatbihi reva ayam advayena cha kalpitaha bhavaha api advayenaiva tasmat advaita shiva. Bhavaha, empirical reality, or the names and forms we deal in the empirical world. Wife, children, husband, my body, my mind, my car, my world, this universe, all these things are called here bhavaihi. And they got an adjective asabbihi. They are all unreal. Through these unreal realities, all these things are having their existence because of the substratum which is real. Advayena, the cause being the real, the substratum of all these names and forms is a real entity. Because of the substratum which is not clear for the ordinary people, they assume all these names and forms are real. Imagined forms like stars, sun, moon, my ego, my mind, my body, my pleasures, everything is being imagined on the substratum which is real. Bhavaha, they are all seems to be sentient because due to the contact with the real entity. Bhavaha, all these names and forms which are sentient, then their sentience is borrowed from the real consciousness. Through the contact of the real consciousness, they seems to be sentient. But in real, they never existed at any point of time, any name and form. Therefore, tasmad, non-duality is the final, ultimate, highest reality which is auspicious. Any name and form, if we put an inquiry, they will resolve into some other thing. And at last, they will end up, they are mere imaginations in the real substratum, which is non-dual Brahman. This is the meaning. We will look into the few sentences. We will look into some sentences of Adi Shankara's commentary. Purva shloka arthasya hetum aha. The previous verse has a connection, and the reason is being presented here, the connection and the reason for the previous verse. Just as yatha rajvam in a rope, classical example, you need not to change the example. Rope and the snake, what a beautiful example, very simple and it's easy to understand. Rajvam, on the rope when it is not known, asat bihi. When the rope is not known properly, and you stepped on that, somehow you know there is something. Then only imagination happens, you know. When the object is not evident through any senses, there is no imagination. In the top of the building, you should see a white shirt hanging, and it is waving the hands. So that you will feel there is a ghost on the top of the building at night. So you should see something in order to imagine a thing on there. Similarly, one need to step on the rope, and the rope is not known. Now the imagination begins. I have already some ideas about a snake which is in a cylindrical shape, in a fluffy way, and always lay down in a dark room or in a dark place. All these things are there in my mind. The superimposition happens here, not there. In real, there is only a rope, but here, an imagined snake or different imaginations can be there. Sarpa dharadibihi. It can be a water stream if you get some sound. It can be a stick. We can imagine anything, you know, just like people used to imagine by in the first appearance of a person right in front of them. He seems to be good. He seems to be bad. I don't like the way of his appearance. We judge people, you know. Similarly, our mind, already pre-existing ideas are there, and it will develop all kinds of imaginations. Some may assume there is a snake, some may assume a water stream, some may assume a stick. Shankara says that all are unreal imagination, asabbihi. Advayena cha rajjudravyena. They are not existing separately from the real thing, and they are not existing on the real thing. Only they exist inside the mind. Sata ayam sarpaha, ayam dhara, ayam dandaha, ayam idi. It can be a snake, few may assume, imagine. Some can superimpose a stick or a water stream. All these superimpositions are possible due to the existence of a rope. Rajju dravyam eva kalpyate. Kalpyate. Everything imposed on the real rope in the Vyavaharika. Evam, in this manner, pranadibihi. Different schools of philosophies. Imagine the non-dual Brahman when it is not known. Their individual self being not known. But they have some general understanding. There is something. Like we have also general understanding for an imagination. We stepped on the rope. Pranadibihi, anantaihi, asadbihi eva, avidyamanaihi. So pranadibihi, in the various forms, in the form of prana, etc. Each and every school of philosophies or meditators or sages, they assume, due to their meditational power, the non-dual entity is missed, and they got some idea. The truth behind the creation is, some may imagine prana, the vital force. Some may imagine some other things. We already discussed all these things. But anantaihi, it is not possible to count how many imaginations and people are mistaken the reality. Different people take different things as their real thing. Some may imagine Jesus. Some imagine Muhammad. Some may imagine Buddha. In India, some may imagine Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Lord, etc., etc. In another country, if they have an entity, they will imagine in that form. So, entire world is misled through various names and forms, which is being recommended by their chief person. It can be a sage in that country, in that society, or school of philosophy. They follow blindly all these names and forms as their real entity. So that it is told here, pranadibihi anantaihi asadbihi, non-existing. All these are adjectives for the unreal entity. Avidyamanaihi, never existed at any point of time. Na paramarthadaha. If you try to find out their reality, you will see only they are only mere words and appearance. There is no such entity. In another Upanishad, it is told, Vacha Rampanam Vikaro Namadeyam. They are only clinching in the words, and they are only the modification or the imagination or a assumed name and form on the reality when it is not. Na paramartada, not from the ultimate standpoint. Nahi aprachalite manasi kaschit bhavam upalakshayadum shakyade kenachit. When the mind is not active, aprachalite. When the mind is not active, in a non-active mind, there is no imagination, which we have already experienced in the deep sleep. And also, nacha atmanaha prachalanam asti. There is no action for Atma, because Atma is Purna, complete. When a person is complete, there is no wanting for anything, there is no movements. Anyway, formless Atman doesn't have any organs or any kind of external organs or internal organs. There is no movement. So, nahi atmanaha prachalanam asti. Atma being complete, Atma being formless, Atma means self. One's own self is not active because of its completeness. Prachalitasya eva uvalakshyamanah bhavah. Because the mind is active and the mind is also non-self, and the mind, due to the pre-existing ideas, pre-existing impressions, it assumes certain things. Prachalitasya eva upalabhyamanaha bhava. When the mind is active, you imagine certain things externally. Yogaha chittavritti nirodhaha. Patanjali explains what is yoga in a capsule form. Chittavritti nirodhaha. Making a disciplined arrangement in the thoughts is called yoga. Filtering the thoughts is called yoga. Nirodha means completely you block. But in that case, even you don't think what is proper. So we say a disciplined way of thinking is called yoga. You see what is real and you see what is unreal. And seeing the reality, tad drishtuhu surupe avasthanam samadhi. You stay back. You don't go behind the non-real things, unreal things. So it's elaborately discussed in Panini in the Yoga Sutra. Not Panini, Patanjali. And here, when the mind is active, superimpositions happens. What about yogi's mind, a jnani's mind? Jnani's mind is active, but Jnani's mind is enlightened. Even though the mind is seeing the names and forms, the yogi or the enlightened person always have the idea that all these names and forms are unreal and also identical to the self which is non-dual. But for an ordinary person, when the mind thinks certain things, it's all real. I see a woman, I see a car, I see a train, I see sky. Everything is real for an ordinary person. And it is separate from him. Duality is accepted because the mind is active. So, प्रचलितस्य एव उपलभ्यमानाः भावाः न परमार्थतः. It is not ultimate. न परमार्थतः. Because mind itself is an imagined thing. Anatma vastu, which is not a real entity. Mind is also an imagination on the non-dual self. I'm not going to have a discussion right now regarding mind. We already discussed a few times what is mind. So, in real, there is no point of imagination. Paramarthataha. Na paramarthataha santaha kalpayadum na shakyaha. When the mind is active, we see certain things in the waking state and also in the dream state. Ataha asatbihi eva pranadi bhavaihi. Therefore, ataha, in the various forms, through the forms of prana, etc., vital force, etc., everything is imposed, imagined on the non-dual. And it is like what? Rejjuvadu sarpa vikalpa aspada bhutena. Like a rope being the substratum for all kinds of superimposition. Vikalpa aspadam. A substratum which is having lot of superimposition. Aspadam, locus or substratum. Vikalpa, different kinds of imaginations. Swayameva Atma. Because there is no other thing as a substratum, this self is being imagined as a body, as a mind, as different things in the world. No other entity here in real. Sata ekasvabhaha api san, all the time, without having any change. This Brahman, this is self, techa pranadi bhavaha api advayena eva. They don't have special existence apart from our thoughts. Only our thoughts on the thing make an imagination or superimposition. Advayena eva sata atmana vikalpita. There is no existence of a secondary thing other than our thoughts. Nahi niraspada kachit vikalpana upalabhyate. A key sentence made by Adi Shankara. Nahi niraspada. Without any substratum, there is no imagination of anything in the world. Suppose if we don't step on a rock, we will not superimpose a snake there. Because we stepped on a rope, the substratum being generally understood, not specifically, there is something. This is the way of general understanding. I am this body. It's a general understanding. I am there. My body is existing so that I am hungry. My body is existing so that I am thirsty. My body is existing. I want to go to a movie. My body is existing so that I can have some pleasure. The existence is ever accepted because there is a substratum which is being misunderstood as a body. Ataha sarva kalpana aspadatvad. Therefore, the substratum of all imagination, sarva kalpana, all kind of imaginations are imposed on this substratum. Na atmanaha advayasya avyabhijarat kalpana avasthayamavi advayata shiva. The Atma, the self, is not fluctuating or not having any kind of modification. Because I thought it is a snake, the rope will not become a snake immediately. Svena atmana advayasya avyabhichara. Avyabhichara. Vyabhichara means changing its nature. Avyabhicharam, not changing its nature. Every time it is always stable and permanent. When I am thinking, the rope didn't become a snake. When I enlightened, the snake didn't again become the rope. The rope is rope even when I am thinking something wrong. Before I am thinking, the rope was existing in the form of a rope. While thinking as a snake, still the rope is existing. There is no vyabhichar, fluctuation, or modification, or instability for the rope. The rope is rope. Similarly, when I take myself, I am this body, I am a male or I am a female. This thinking myself will not make the Atman to become a male body or female body. There is no vyabhichara. Because I thought I am a boy, or I am a girl, or I am a woman, I am a man. That doesn't mean that the same thing it became. What I thought, it became the same thing. There is no like that. There is no such thing like that. There is no vyabhichar. It will not change according to my thoughts. Avyabhicharad. Kalpana avasthayamapi. Even in the time of imagination, kalpana avastha, in the state of imagination, when I assumed myself stepping on a rope in a dark room, I imagined myself there is a snake. On that time also, it didn't become a snake. Advayata Shiva. It is always the auspicious Brahman. Kalpana evatu ashivaha. All the imaginations, kalpanaha, to ashivaha, will attract all kinds of worries. Ashiva. Opposite word of Shiva. Shiva means all. It will give some shanti, serenity, peace, happiness. Ashiva, always the person get disturbed when you think the reality other than what it is. You think I am this body. Then we have to deal with the diseases. We are not happy with our situations. We are not happy with our daughters, with our son. We are not happy in our mutual understanding. All these problems are due to the misunderstanding about oneself. Ashiva. Oh, I am not like her. My hands are not like this girl. My nose is not like her. My hair is not like him. Different types of comparisons, and we are having restless night. That is why Ashivaha. When you take the superimposition is real, there will be always some disturbances throughout your life. Rajju sarpadivad trasadi karanyaha hitaha. Like the snake is real for an imagined person. The snake is real. He cannot think other than a snake. The rope is not harm. Rope is not something to bite or to do something harm for the person. But the person already decided it is a snake. So that trasadi karanyaha. From the fear onwards, all kinds of emotions will make the person down. He is unhappy because there is a snake. I have to fear this snake, whether it is bitten me, whether it is a poisonous snake. I am shivering, I am sweating, all these things will happen. When the truth is not known, everything will make you unhappy. Trasadi karinyaha hita. All these emotions, when you don't know the reality about oneself, everything will make you unhappy. All kinds of family relationships, all kinds of social bondages. When you have a relationship connected with the body, when we don't see the non-dual self on everywhere, there will be always some disturbances in oneself. That is why Advayata, Abhaya, Ataha, Sa eva Shiva. Non-duality is the only factor for fearlessness. Non-duality is Abhaya, a resort, a state of fearlessness. And therefore it is called Shiva. This is the Shiva. This is the auspicious way of dealing with oneself. Already myself is auspicious, but I didn't know that because I took myself as a body. Now the teacher and the scriptures are working overtime for me to make me enlightened. Then at last I came to know that I am not this body. I am non-dual self. Thus, from the unhappiness, I became the person of ultimate happy. Advayata, knowing the non-dual self is the only way to be free from all kinds of fears. There will be no fear of death and birth. There will be no fear of diseases. There will be no fear of somebody went away without talking with you. Somebody is angry with you. You will be always the same person. Advayata Shiva. Advayata Abhayataha Sa eva Shiva. Knowing the reality is the Shiva. This is the sentences written by Adi Shankara. Now, coming to a tricky verse, which is 34, we will look into that. Natma bhavena na netam, na svena vikatanchana, na pratak na apratak kinjid, idi tattva vido viduhu. Once more, I will read a tricky verse. Na atma bhavena na netam, na svena vikatanchana, na apratak kinjid idi tattva vido viduhu. I will read once more in a proper way. Na atma bhavena na netam, na svena katanchana, na apratak kinjit, idi tattva vido viduhu. So, the superimposed forms are analyzed from different four standpoints. Na atma bhavena nanetam. Atma bhavam. When the fan is connected with the electricity, the fan is alive. You will get some fresh air. So, fan is a reality in the empirical world. When it gets connected with the electricity, it will do its job. It will do its job. Similarly, this duality, which is seen in this empirical world, are alive and they exist due to the tadatmyam, the connection with the Atman. Even though they are not self-effulgent, they are depending for their effects. By getting connection or contact with the Atma, the self, they are alive. Somebody thinks like that. So, it is been negated in the first word, na atma bhavena. There is no existence of any duality in this world. There is only one thing remains in the entire world. There is no more than a one. That is why this philosophy itself is called Advaita philosophy. Advaita means non-dual, and the studies regarding the non-dual entity is called a philosophy related to non-duality, Advaita philosophy. Now, coming to the second word. There is no independent existence of anything other than Atman. Na svena api. By connection, they are alive, is been negated. Whether they have an independent existence in this world. No. Na svena abhi katanchana. There is no independent existence for this universe. Now we will look into the entire sentence and we will go to the second sentence. We need some discussion regarding this sentence. Atma Bhavena. I already mentioned you here. Anandagiri, another sage who has written another commentary for the Shankara's commentary. He says that Dvaidam Atma Tadatmena va Siddhyati. Dvaidam, duality is not perceived through the connection or by the connection of self, non-dual self. Dvaita Atma Tada, Dvaitam Atma Tadatmena. I will give you an example. We always take in a cup our tea. Cup is not really hot. Tea is hot. When you pour the tea inside the cup will also get all the characteristics of the tea. It will become hot. Now, through the connection between the tea and the cup, we have a cup which is hot. This is what tadatmyam. So few philosophers think that there are things in the world which are inert, but when they get the connection with the self, which is self-effulgence, by the connection or the contact with the self, they will become alive. A school of philosophy thinks like that. That is being negated. And nanadam, there is no lot of things in this universe. Nana idam. Different things we are perceiving in the world, different countries, different cultures, different people, different cars, different dresses, different food, different animals, different birds, different oceans. Everything are many. They are not only one thing. Oceans are many, animals are many, birds are many, and I accept them, they are true. As an ordinary person, the world is having all kinds of multiplicities. All these things can be in one word, duality. Dvaita prapancham. Other than me, lots of things are existing. This is called Dvaita prapancham. Universe have or has different things. Birds are many. I already mentioned you. Right from the childhood, these thoughts are existing in my mind. What are being perceived in the world, they exist. Whatever I see in this world, they exist. Other than me, my father is there, my mother is there, my brother is there, younger sister is there, everything is there. How can I deny them? There is no existence of certain things. When I eat my porridge, I feel comfort. My hunger has gone. My appetite has gone. How can you deny my porridge is not there? So right from my childhood, my duality or the perception towards the duality or the understanding towards the duality is confusing. If so many things are in the world, how can one be peaceful? When you accomplish one thing in the world, after 2 days, you will see another thing which is better than what you have already accomplished. So duality will take away one's own happiness. In fact, if you accept duality, the creation itself is a bluff. In the creation, you can only fetch some unhappiness. As long as you are ignorant about the best thing, you will be happy. Once you come to know the best thing in the world, you are unhappy because whatever I have right now in my life is an average thing. The best thing in the world is still away from me. Entire duality is a threat for an individual if you accept the duality or this world. So that we can conclude that creation itself is a globe of misery. Only you can see unhappiness in the creation if we accept duality. That is why the word nana idam is very important in this verse. Na atma bhavena nana idam. No different things in the world, what you perceive. As some other philosophers say, they exist in the world even though they are inert. But with the contact of an sentient entity, they will be active. A group of philosophers, a philosophy. They think that different things are available for our enjoyment in the world. They exist in the world. They are inert, but they can supply some happiness in my life. If they come into contact with a sentient entity. Nana bhudam dvaidam atma tadatmyam. There is no such things in the world. Different things are not there. Why? Non-dual self is the only thing which is truth. I am in the form of different things in the world. Myself, I became a cat. The self is in the form of cat. The self is in the form of a pot. Self is in the form of universe. Jagat Rupena Ahameva Bhami. In the form of this universe, I am there. Even though I perceive other than me this universe. Ahameva. I am in the form of different animals. different words. The entire cinema, what we call universe, is nothing but an illusion which is imposed on me. That is why na atma bhavena nana idam. There is no different things in the world, even though you perceive or we perceive. The non-dual self is being perceived in different names and forms which are illusions. This is the entire meaning of the first quarter. The second quarter is na svenapi katanchana. Swatantrena. They don't exist in themselves. We already saw that without the substratum, there is no imaginations. And this philosophy and the scriptures repeat, Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. Only thing in the world which is the truth is myself, the consciousness. Ekameva Advitiyam. There is no secondary thing like Brahman. There is no parts. There is no duplicate Brahman. There is no some different style Brahman. Only Brahman exists, myself, the self exists. All these names are mere superimposition, imagination on this Brahman. So, na svenapi katanchana never existed independently from the Brahman. No other names and forms have an independent existence other than Brahman. May one be very sure that when you know the reality, your fear should go. I am in the form of my boss. I am in the form of my colleagues. I am in the form of my people who are under me. I am in the form of wife. I am in the form of children. I am in the form of car. Everything is nothing but this non-dual Brahman. That fear has gone. The clarity has came. The universe is not at all threat from here onwards. There is no comparison. There is no fear. There is no competition. You are complete. You are the only thing which exists in the world. And on this existing entity, all the names and forms seems to be exist, which are apparent realities. They are mere imagination. They don't have an independent existence. Nasvenabi katanchana. We will stop here. We will discuss the another part of this verse in the next class. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshobarhitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamatav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om